make a new name for yourself. Look at what has happened to Michael Perry. You know, one of our big stars here, the king of violence, he titles himself. And, you know, he's had such a rise in the sport. Now he's up against, you know, a little dweeb of a thing in a fight this weekend that we're all rooting for him.
Don't aspire to be, you know, one of these like YouTuber fighters.
Right.
Aspire for world titles. Aspire for Olympic.
That's him now. He's super jacked.
He looks like a bodybuilder.
See, that's what he looks like now. He's still jacked. Still looks great. He looks good, though.
Whoa.
He looks so old now.
He looks different.
Yeah.
However, one recent topic that has sparked considerable conversation is his analysis of Conor McGregor's career trajectory, particularly how McGregor's self-destructive behavior contributed to his decline as a fighter. In a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan attributed McGregor's downfall to a combination of money, fame, and the self-destructive tendencies that came with them.
And like, there's something about like calling somebody out, which you immediately respect them a little bit more, like willing to put yourself out there for a fight.
He called out Conor McGregor too.
That's what Jake's doing.
Yeah.
That kid is a master troll, dude. He's a master creating hype. Like, dude, if I'm Dana White, I'm praying that this guy can actually.
A Jake Paul Amanda Nunes boxing match.
That's because Dana said maybe I'll let Amanda Nunes knock him out.
Now I think people are coming around. I say, if this kid was not a YouTuber, if he wasn't some guy that you knew from the time he was like 16 years old on YouTube, and you just saw him box, and you saw him knock out former UFC champions, you saw him beat legitimate boxers, or beat athletes, and beat a bunch of MMA fighters, you'd go, this kid can fight. He knows how to fight. It's not, nothing he's doing looks wrong. He's not like sticking his head straight up in the air and winging punches with his eyes closed. He's fighting well. He looks good. And if he was just an up-and-coming boxer that was this exciting, like highly promotable, like really good at selling fights, you'd be like, this kid's the future.
He goes Conor McGregor basically played out Conor McGregor in Roadhouse. To understand the magnitude of Joe Rogan's critique, it's important to reflect on Conor McGregor's rise to the top. When McGregor entered the UFC, he was a force to be reckoned with. Known for his brash personality and charismatic self-promotion, McGregor quickly established himself as a fan favorite. However, it wasn't just his personality that captivated the world. His performance inside the octagon solidified his place in MMA history.
I don't know if Conor's ever going to fight again.
What's happening with his the civil suit? He's being dropped by all his companies or something.
Yeah, you know, I don't know the real details of that case, but the reality is that guy's partying, and he's partying real hard.
Dude, some of his interviews, you can tell he is out of it. Have you seen the Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor interview for Roadhouse? And he's just tweaking the whole time.
He's
and
tweaking?
Jake's just like...
You know, it's funny. Shane Gillis has a great bit about Conor McGregor in Roadhouse. He goes, Conor McGregor basically played a cooked-out Conor McGregor in Roadhouse.
One of the defining moments of McGregor's career came in 2015 when he knocked out the legendary Jose Aldo in just 13 seconds to claim the UFC Featherweight Championship. McGregor's swift rise to the top was followed by his historic achievement at UFC 205 in 2016, when he became the first fighter in UFC history to hold two championships in different weight classes simultaneously. It seemed that nothing could stop McGregor, and he was on the verge of becoming the greatest fighter in MMA history.
Perhaps the most important fight of your career. Give us your thoughts on this rematch. He should have killed me when he had the chance, because now I'm back, and I'm going to kill you and your whole team. You and their team. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants. What I dreamed into reality. Oh, that looks good.
However, as Rogan points out, the story of McGregor's downfall begins shortly after these peaks. McGregor's MMA career has seen setbacks in recent years since his high-profile defeat to Khabib Nurmagomedov in 2018. He has fought sporadically, with his most recent bout in July 2021 ending in a gruesome leg injury against Dustin CLI P7. McGregor has since been on a path to recovery, teasing a comeback while exploring opportunities outside the octagon. His 2017 boxing match against Floyd Mayweather, though unsuccessful, demonstrated his ability to draw massive pay-per-view audiences, proving he remains a global attraction.
I'm your father. I'm your daddy, yeah? Call me Jose Senior.
When we do,
Tell him I'm his daddy. Tell him I'm his daddy.
I really don't care. Like, he can do whatever he wants, and I'll continue to be the champion.
He said, tell him he's his daddy.
Tell him I said I am his daddy.
Ele tá falando que ele é seu pai.
Nunca vai ser.
Sit on my lap.
Nunca vai ser. Tá mais fácil.
Sit on my lap.
Eu domino.
Sit on my lap.
What I'm saying is this. When you knock a champion who's been that dominant and that good for 10 years out in 14 seconds, 13. There is a question, which is, was that in some ways
a fluke.
Jake Paul, on the other hand, represents a newer breed of combat sports entertainers, initially gaining fame as a content creator on YouTube. Paul has pivoted to professional boxing, where he has carved out a niche by taking on celebrities, athletes, and former MMA fighters.
Which is, Dylan Dennis is a professional fighter. He's a professional fighter. He jumps out, he takes a swing at him. They're screaming, and Dylan's like, "F you," and he's like, "F you," and there's a bunch of people get involved, and then a bunch of other people jump in. The whole thing was nuts. But the idea that we should be shocked after him throwing a dolly at a bus because Khabib's on the bus, those Russians don't fucking play like that, man.
Yeah. Did you see the videos afterwards when Dagestan where they're shooting off the Uzis and AK-47?
A woman who accused the mixed martial arts fighter Conor McGregor of raping her in a hotel in Dublin 6 years ago has won a civil case against him. The jury has found McGregor liable and ordered him to pay Nikita Hand €250,000 in damages.
Its real power, his brash personality, marketing acumen, and improving boxing skills have earned him a record of notable wins, including victories over former UFC fighters such as Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, and Anderson Silva.
UFC fighter Conor McGregor has been accused of sexually assaulting a woman after an NBA basketball game in Miami earlier this month. A legal letter outlining the allegations was sent to Mr. McGregor and seen by BBC News. It says the alleged assault took place in a bathroom at an arena in Miami. The woman's lawyer said she'd been watching Game 4 of the finals on Friday the 9th of June before the alleged incident happened. She alleged the woman was forced into a men's bathroom by security guards from the NBA and Miami Heat before being violently assaulted by Mr. McGregor. A lawyer representing Mr. McGregor said, "The allegations are false. Mr. McGregor will not be intimidated." Both the City of Miami Police and the Miami Heat, which hosted the NBA Finals game, say that they are conducting investigations.
Chandler, you said good match for Conor. Is that ever happening? Or
I don't know if Conor's ever going to fight again.
What's happening with his, he just got like the civil suit or whatever, and he's being dropped by all his companies or something.
Yeah. I don't know the real details of that case. I know his version of it and her version of it and what played out in the court. But the reality is that guy's partying, and he's partying real hard. And he talked about it in the court case. He's talking about cocaine. Like that was the whole thing, that we're all doing cocaine and we're fans.
Paul has made no secret of his desire to fight McGregor since 2020. He has used social media to call out the Irishman, ridiculing his losses and taunting him with offers of multi-million-dollar payouts, while some dismissed Paul's antics as a publicity stunt. His growing profile in boxing has forced many to take his challenges seriously.
How much money could you reasonably walk out of this fight with?
350 million.
$350 million.
Yes.
Floyd's not ready for this. Much respect to Floyd, he's a solid businessman. What he has been able to do, he is a animal at what he has been able to do. But as far as real fighting, as far as true, pure, unarmed combat, Floyd don't want none of this. I think he does not want none of this. People will even ask him. He wants it under boxing rules. He wants a boxing match. He doesn't want to fight. So much respect to everyone in here. I love everyone is. Give Floyd a shout out, I'm coming.
He goes Conor McGregor basically played out Conor McGregor in Roadhouse to understand the magnitude of Joe Rogan's critique. It's important to reflect on Conor McGregor's rise to the top. When McGregor entered the UFC, he was a force to be reckoned with. Known for his brash personality and charismatic self-promotion, McGregor quickly established himself as a fan favorite. However, it wasn't just his personality that captivated the world. His performance inside the octagon solidified his place in MMA history.
I think he's like any other young up-and-coming boxer. It's just everybody dismisses him because he's a YouTuber.
For sure. It's easy to dismiss him, but I was there when he knocked out Tyron, and I was like, man, I'm done with this kid. I never wanted to corner another fight in my life, man. I was like, yo, he just knocked my boy flat out on his face, man. I was heartbroken.
Bro, he has power. It's real power.
And he goes Conor McGregor basically played out Conor McGregor in Roadhouse to understand the magnitude of Joe Rogan's critique. It's important to reflect on Conor McGregor's rise to the top. When McGregor entered the UFC, he was a force to be reckoned with. Known for his brash personality and charismatic self-promotion, McGregor quickly established himself as a fan favorite. However, it wasn't just his personality that captivated the world. His performance inside the octagon solidified his place in MMA history.
If Jake Paul wasn't Jake Paul, if he wasn't this YouTube guy, it was just a boxer, and you see a boxer knock out the former UFC welterweight champion, not just the former, but one of the best ever, knock him out with one punch like that, you'd be like, oh man, have you seen this Jake Paul dude coming up? He's for real. Because nothing about watching him fight screams like he's in over his head. If it wasn't that big YouTube star, you'd be like, that dude's got dynamite in his hand.
It is, but I see a lot of people talking funny stuff about, like, the leg kick didn't knock him out. What happened? Like, so DC says in the detailed breakdown, I kick Conor's calf, and Conor steps back and his leg kind of goes, and DC says, well, that's the leg kick that, you know, hurt his leg or whatever. But when he went after that leg kick, he kind of reached down to grab the foot and threw an uppercut. And I was switch stance, so I threw a cross from my backhand that clipped him good. And that's when he took the step back and was hurt. I think that's a detail people are missing, that right hand.
Well, you landed a lot of solid shots in that fight, but there's no doubt that leg kick was fucking that right leg up.
For sure.
Let me show y'all proof that Conor McGregor did, in fact, injure the leg that he broke in the third Dustin Poirier fight 3 years ago, just weeks before their bout. Right here, drilling kicks over and over again. It was already taped up before that, and everyone was like, oh, he heard it off of a Dustin Poirier check. Y'all don't know shit about MMA. He even posted about this after the fight.